Hello, my lovelies. So it's been a hot minute since I did my last video, and the reason why is because just basically a lack of motivation on my part. It has nothing to do with you online. It's nothing against y'all. It's all me. And it's because I'm just having a moment of just not being motivated. You see, I'm in my comfy green shirt that I wear when I'm just wanting to feel comfortable and just kind of, when I'm kind of feeling stressed and I need that just extra comfort. I go to either my green shirt or my blue shirt or my yellow shirt, as you've seen, and then my pink shirt, and then I have a black shirt. Just basically, I have a whole bunch of solid color shirts that I use at night when I'm feeling kind of stressed, and I know it's going to be just kind of difficult to go to sleep. I use these as a way of comfort. Anyway, I think my lack of motivation lately has been due to, our situation. We are still under a stay-at-home order, and even though it worries me and it stresses me, I hope that we do stay under this order until at least the mid of May to make sure that we're safe, our children are safe, just everybody's safe. And that's my main concern. I mean, I know schools will resume. I know life will get back to normal. Theaters will open, restaurants will open, parks will open, and life will go back to how it was. And we'll be, the more thankful for it if we go back in a safe environment and we know that we're not going to get sick with COVID-19 or anything like that, and that our children are going to be safe in a safe environment and that they're not going to get sick with COVID-19. Because that would be a horrible tragedy to go through this whole ordeal just to open things up early because of financial pressure, which I know everybody's under, and I do sympathize with you. But my mama always said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's better to prevent than have to cure what we rushed and situations we got ourselves into because we rushed an opening before it was time, because some of us won't make it. I have a compromised immune system, and my youngest son is only 2. He'll be 3 next month. He has upper respiratory issues, and my oldest son is 13, and he's had upper respiratory issues. Not to mention, he almost every year gets the flu, no matter what we do. Flu shot or no flu shot, he always gets the flu. And I've spoken to his doctor about why this is so, and he just says that it has something to do with his upper respiratory system being compromised. He had tubes when he was young, but they fell out, and he never had an ear infection again, but then he started getting the flu every year. We did the flu shot, he still got the flu. So we do still do the flu shot because I just believe in protecting him any way I can. And it's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be horrible. He's ended up in the hospital before. It was a very scary time, an emotional time, and just very, painful to watch because that's my child. But now that he's getting older, and we do the flu shot every year, he seems like he battles it off better. We've had 2 years where he didn't go to the hospital. He was on a liquid diet, but he was being fed. I mean, it took a lot of liquid. I mean, a lot of chicken noodle soup, a lot of hot broth, a lot of Gatorade. We just bought it like almost in bulk. And anytime he said that he felt like eating, we were there with his Theraflu and his soup and his Gatorade. He never went hungry, and he even said himself he never went hungry. That was my other biggest worry, is that, besides suffering from an illness, that he was also suffering from hunger. No parent wants to think that their child is suffering from hunger, but he told me time and time again that that wasn't the case, that we did a really good job keeping him fed. And, I know I worked extra hard to try to make sure that he always had a full stomach. And, he had his humidifier, and he had his medicines and plenty of tissue and his Theraflu and everything that he needed to help him get through it. And I noticed the last 2 years he caught it, but it only lasted not even a week, like just short of a week, and he was already doing significantly better. Where in the past, we would end up in the ER and he'd end up 2 or 3 days in the hospital. And that was just so difficult, not only on him, but on us as well, because we were worried about him. And I have 2 other children, which at the time I only had my daughter, and then my son came along after that. But we had to tend to her too, and we didn't want her catching the flu. So we had to kind of separate them. So one parent would stay at home with her while the other one was at the hospital, and then we trade off. And that way he got to see both mama and daddy, and he didn't feel like he was being pushed aside by one parent or the other. We just made sure that we sterilized everything, scrubbed our hands, our face, sterilized our shoes. We treated the flu kind of like they're treating COVID-19, because it's communicable. So we were just very cautious because we did not want 2 children with the flu. And then I got pregnant, and then we were like, we don't want 3 children with the flu. And then Eli, which is my youngest son, started having problems, and now he has tubes in his ears. So we were like, definitely don't want him getting sick. So I understand, trying to keep things, closed until the minute because it's better safe than sorry. I get it, because I have children, who, get sick like normal humans. I have health issues. I don't want to catch this. That's one of my greatest fears. My husband is an essential worker, and he comes in, he just basically sterilizes everything before he even touches the children. And so far we've been blessed. None of us have come down with COVID-19. We've been very fortunate. We did have some illnesses in the very beginning. We were all tested for COVID-19. None of us had it. I had walking pneumonia at the beginning of this year, which was really a hard blow for me. That was the first time I realized how fragile my immune system was, because I haven't had pneumonia since I was in first grade. First grade, the first time. First grade was the last time, not the first time, last time I had pneumonia. And that was many, many, many years ago. And now I wasn't even aware that I was that sick. I went into my doctor, routine checkup. He heard something in my lungs. He ordered a chest x-ray, and he told me that I had walking pneumonia and put me on a different antibiotic to go with the antibiotic that I was already on, just for an upper respiratory infection. I had no clue that it was that serious. I wasn't running a fever. I didn't have the chest pain. I had a cough, but it didn't sound horrible. It was just kind of a nagging cough. And I thought he had gotten my x-ray mixed up with somebody else's at first. I could have sworn. And then I saw the name on the x-ray, and I was like, no, that's mine. It's definitely me. It was a hard pill to swallow that I was that sick and not even aware of it. So it was a scary moment when they announced that you could be carrying COVID-19 and not be aware. it hit really close to home for me because, well, I had walking pneumonia and was not aware. Now, right now, if my voice sounds a little off, I have allergies, and the pollen is horrendous this year. But I've been taking Zyrtec, and it makes it so much better. Doesn't get rid of all of the symptoms. I still have the postnasal drainage and a little bit of a cough, but no fever. And I know when it's allergies. I already know the signs and symptoms by now. I mean, you don't get to the age that I'm at and not know the signs and symptoms of allergies. It's every year, every single year. And it seems like when it rains and it knocks all the pollen loose, and I go outside for anything, to bring in the garbage can, to sweep off the porch, to just say hi to the neighbors, to go check the mail, just to go for a walk, it makes it so much worse. But I can't just stay locked in the house 24/7 without any fresh air. I have to, which I'm social distancing. Sorry, I came out wrong. I'm social distancing, and I wear a face mask, but still, allergens are allergens. And when you're out there and the pollen's flying everywhere, you just can't get away from it. That is an unfortunate side effect of allergies. And it's kind of weird because I have allergies, my husband has allergies, my youngest son has allergies, my oldest son has allergies. My daughter is the only one who does not and has never suffered from allergies. So she got very fortunate to have escaped that situation. Other than that, I've just been trying to find motivation into making another video. And I've been watching, makeup artists like Lily Jean. And there's another guy, and I can never think of his name. And I just looked up a little while ago, and I've done forgotten it. But I watch him all the time, but I don't know why I cannot remember this gentleman's name. But he is incredibly talented, and he knows his makeup. He is really quite famous, and that goes to show how stressed I've been lately. My memory is crap, and if I could remember his name, everybody would be like, how could you forget him? He's famous. But like I said, I've just been a jumbled mess lately, and for some reason his name is not coming to my mind. It's just, I'm drawing a blank. I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. And I mean, he's famous, but drawing a blank. It'll come to me later, especially when I see one of his videos, and I'm like, how could I forget that? Something so simple. But I think right now I'm just incredibly tired. It's been a long week, and I think that's affecting my memory. Anyway, I did do some makeup shopping, and that's why I'm getting to this whole thing about makeup artists and stuff like that. And now, trust me, I do not spend big money on makeup because A, I don't know what I'm doing, and B, I don't know what I'm doing. But I go by what I like and what I think looks pretty. Jeffree Star, that's his name. Like I said, once I said it, you'd know it. He's famous. He's talented. He can do incredible things. I knew it'd come to me. It just took a minute. But yes, and most of you are probably going, how do you forget somebody that famous? My brain is like mashed potatoes right now. I am so tired. But it is what it is. So anyhow, getting back on track. Like I said, I don't spend a lot of money on makeup. I get what I can afford, but I get what I think looks pretty. and I'm going to try to step up my game. I hope to do a video with me doing makeup, but I found this really pretty lip gloss, and I just love anything that adds shimmer or shine to my lips. And it's called Fruit Punch. It looks sort of like a bright pink. I mean, of course its main job is just to gloss up the lips. I guess after you put on your lipstick, this goes over it just to add a little bit of shimmer and shine. But it's pigmented a little bit. It's got a very pretty bright pink to it. So I'm hoping it'll add a little color too. I don't know, maybe this is all I'm supposed to use. I don't know if I'm supposed to use lipstick and then put this over it, or if this is all I need. If anybody knows, if you could tell me, I really don't know. I'm going to try both ways and see which one I like best, I guess, because it's just makeup. What else can you do? And this is actually not makeup, but I have a problem with my pores. I don't know if you could tell, but they're kind of bigger than I would like. And this helps shrink them. It cleans them and then it shrinks it. It helps them shrink down. And I have oily skin. So a lot of like Lily Jean's makeup tips don't really work for me because she has very dry skin and kind of like porcelain looking skin. And I don't. I have darker, and I always have an oil problem. You probably see it. And when I do my makeup, I need something to help kind of dry up that oil problem, or else my skin will break out like horribly in like the trouble areas that you usually have. So if anybody has any suggestions on how to deal with that oil problem, I am open to anything, any suggestions, because I wasn't raised to put on makeup. I wasn't taught all these, so I'm going off of makeup artists, and I named 2 right there, and that's just 2. I also watch others who are probably not as well known and listen to their ideas about contouring and eyeshadow and stuff like that. My biggest problem is that I'll start out, like when I wear makeup, I can't talk today. When I do wear makeup, it'll start looking really good, and then I have the tendency to rub my eyes, which will smudge my eyeshadow, or down here, which will smudge stuff, or I'll rub my face without thinking about it, and I'll rub my makeup off, and at the end of the day, I literally look like a hot mess. But as I was saying, I got this right here to help, and I've used this before and I love it. They're charcoal strips for your nose, and you put it on there, you wet it, or you wet your nose, the nose area, and then you apply it and you press it down firmly and you leave it for a few minutes until it dries, and then you just pull it off, and it pulls out all that cloggage out of your pores. It cleans your pores, and then your pores, you wash them with I've been using Cetaphil. It has no dyes and no perfumes, and I wash with cool water and Cetaphil to kind of clean things out, and then my pores shrink back down and they start looking better. I need to do it here soon because, as you can see, even though I haven't been wearing makeup, they're still getting clogged. So that is my issue that I deal with, oily skin. And once I clean them, it'll be open. They'll be open, clear, and then I'll wash it with a Cetaphil and in cold water, and they'll close smaller and they'll look more smooth. My skin will look more refined and smooth. But seriously, if anybody has any suggestions on how to deal with this oil problem, because in my dark skin, I am seriously open to any suggestions. And then the last thing I got was this contour brush. Had it shipped to me, and I'm not really sure how to use it. I'm going to learn. I'm going to look up some suggestions because I do contour and highlight. I'm getting into that, and I've never used a brush, and I think a brush would help with kind of refining the details in my face and giving it that smoother look, because I used to use, I know y'all gonna think so horrible of me, but I used my fingers and I didn't like how chunky it looked. It just didn't look right. And I saw that Lily Jean uses a brush, or a lot of brushes actually. I'm gonna get more brushes soon. So I thought, well, a contour brush is probably, somebody like me, a beginner, the best place to start. If y'all have any suggestions on how to use this contour brush, again, I am open to suggestions, tips, anything you can tell me about how to get the best look by using this contour brush. But I'm going to stop jabbering on for now. I know it's been like a hot minute since I last posted a video. I want you to know it has nothing to do with anybody. I'm not mad at anybody. It's me. I've been having a hard time finding motivation, but it seems like I'm starting to get my motivation back, kind of like my mojo back. I don't know if it's the weather or just, we're getting closer to the end of April and I'm looking forward to the mid of May. And, we're just spending quality time with my children, and we've been baking and having fun. Today was Taco Tuesday. I've been resting more. Maybe all of that combined together has helped me come to a better mental place where I can finally get some of my ideals back and find some inspiration to do a video. But I hope to come out with some new videos soon and not go so long without doing videos again. I'm about to recolor my hair. I don't like how it's kind of fading out. I'm going to recolor it and maybe try something new. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But I definitely want to do a makeup video, and I think soon I want to try the Magnum ice cream bars, the Ruby edition. I saw Crunchy do it and they looked so good. So I might come out with a video here soon with that too. So I hope you are all staying safe, practicing social distancing, and remember to take a little bit of time every day for some mental health and mental well-being and just finding your inner peace, however that might be. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye.